Yo. That's right. You saw the title. We said Danny Garcia got his ass whooped. Now you all know how to judge a fucking fight. Or at least we hope. Yet we have no idea what judges thought they were looking at. And we've gotta throw a holler out to Luciano Valdez on this one. Because Lux asked us to speak on this judging stuff ages ago. And we'll get to that in a bit. Yet we ain't sure how fans judge fights. We know how they're supposed to be judged, but we also know there's this new breed of fans judging fights by a motherfucker's reality show. Or by their race. Or style of clothing. Even their ability to rock the mic. Which they usually fucking suck at. Half the time motherfuckers' rhymes don't even rhyme these days. Yeah, all that's great. But 10 players judges fights based on what the fuck we see in the ring. And we saw Garcia get his fucking ass kicked. Again. And we knew Al Heyman's boy would win. Again. We watched this shit twice just to make sure. Even slowed down shots, did frame by frame, and apparently CompuBox counts punching motherfuckers in the back, on the gloves, elbows, and even hitting the empty air aggressively. See if Al Heyman wants you to win, the rules of judging changes. You get points for effective air punching and inability to cut the ring off. You even get points for stopping in the middle of the ring, raising your hands in frustration, and doing a sarcastic shuffling of the feet. That's Garcia's way of psychologically manipulating the crowd using body language. To say, look y'all, he won't let me hit him. It's his fault. Apparently it worked. See, you know what effective punching is. Actually connecting. Causing a motherfucker's face to look like this. See this? That's effective. A face like this. But this. That's ineffective. That tends to happen when you swing at a guy's face and only hit air. Lamont doesn't have a mark. But apparently CompuBox rings that up as shots connecting. But we saw Peterson laying some leather on Garcia's face. And his fucking body. Now in all fairness. Just because a motherfucker's face is busted up doesn't mean he lost. And you can open a cut with one shot making your opponent look like a bloody mess, yet get ya ass beat. This is a round by round points game, as we all know. But Danny's face was the result of accumulation. So we watched again to make sure. Now we ain't getting in our scores, since we didn't have the same scores, but what we did have the same. Was Peterson beating Garcia's ass. We all gave Peterson more than 6 rounds. We understand someone may not like guys moving, because they want to see their man hit the other guy. But that's not how to score fights. See, if it's basketball, and the ball goes in the hoop, you score no matter what. But in boxing, fans can say they didn't like the way the shot looked leaving your hands, and completely ignore the fact that it went through. Often they ignore it because they just don't like the fact that you don't have a record out, or a nice clothing line. Because we saw Garcia getting credit for shots bouncing off the rim. 3-pointer air balls. Points for blocked shots. Mutombo finger waving type blocks. You can even listen to the crowd. They'd go crazy for Garcia hitting the air. We'll say this though. There was quite a few shots looking like they connected that didn't. Quite a few times we actually thought Garcia landed and heard it. Then zoomed in frame by frame and saw he actually hit Peterson's gloves. Yeah. A big booming sound on his gloves. He got credit for that shit rather than Peterson getting credit for defense. I mean, do you seriously think that if Danny fought the same fight Peterson fought, and Peterson's face looked like Garcia's in the end, that Peterson would have won? It's a popularity contest at this point. If Lamont lost this fight, then Mayweather musta lost every fight he had where he didn't knock a motherfucker out. Effective aggression is based on successfully moving forward, not doing it and failing. Defense is a part of the scoring game. Ring generalship's a part of the scoring game. It means who owns that ring. Which of the fighters are in the other fighter's world. You're actually meant to get points for this stuff. And we didn't see Peterson in Danny's world. We saw Danny in Peterson's. Yet getting points for it. The other thing we spoke of recently is this running bullshit. Currently every fighter getting his ass kicked is claiming the guy who kicked it is a runner. And ever since Canelo ran that line about Laura, everyone's using it. Or we should say, abusing it. Let's listen to Garcia.
Like I said, like I told him, I said, you can't win a big fight running.
And you can't win a big fight not catching a motherfucker. Let's hear this crap again.
Like I said, like I told him, I said, you can't win a big fight running. He came strong at the end, and I was moving a little bit too, but...
What's that? What the fuck we just hear?
and I was moving a little bit too, but...
So when Peterson's moving it's called running. But when Danny does it it's called...
moving a little bit.
Yeah. It's called moving a little bit when Danny does it. We want to make something clear. This fight wasn't Laura Canelo. Peterson showed the superior ring generalship. He dictated the pace of the fight from the start. He showed his ability to break Garcia down bit by bit like a mechanic, superior when moving, and superior when he stood directly in front of Garcia trading toe-to-toe blow for blow, and walking him the fuck down like a school bully beating up a little kid. Everyone with eyes clearly saw Garcia was done by the end of this fight. The question we had, was if he started too late. And when we watched again, he didn't in our view. You could say Peterson should have started earlier. But we know Garcia was winning this no matter what, because we clearly had Peterson taking more than 6. This shit's being judged based on popularity, because we know damn well if Mayweather's face was on Peterson's body he'd still be undefeated today. Or if Garcia fought the same fight against Peterson, and Peterson fought like Garcia, they'd be claiming Garcia put on a clinic against Lamont. That's a fucking fact. They'd be claiming he added a whole new dimension to his game, showed he could do it all, and that Garcia's fucking incredible. Amazing. A boxing genius. That they wanna see him against Mayweather and Pac next. But he's Garcia, so he'll get credit for doing nothing. I mean, what fucking effective thing did Garcia do this entire fight? Like we said. Unless Garcia was on his back for 20 seconds with all 11 toes in the air, Peterson was set up to lose no matter what. Here's the shocker though. Peterson didn't lose. Garcia did. See, Heyman's judges don't decide who wins with us. We do. As for Danny giving Peterson a rematch, that's the champ's choice. And Danny ain't the champ. Peterson is. So it's up to Peterson to give Danny a rematch. Not the other way around. Personally, we'd like to see the two real champs fight. As for PBC, we still hate the fucking ring entrance. We prefer the old school entrances. And apparently so does Garcia. Naturally he can't say that. Once you sell that soul you're on verbal lockdown. But we liked the announcing better than the first showing. And it still sucked. Seems these announcers are on a leash. Like would Sugar think after the fight? Who'd he think won? It's like these motherfuckers ain't allowed to speak their minds. Like no one actually thought Peterson fucking won. Get fucking real. Even the corners seem to be on fucking lockdown. I mean, can't y'all feel that shit? Motherfuckers holding their tongues. On HBO corners would be in an uproar. Peterson's corner, and Peterson clearly thought he won. Yet they gotta shut the fuck up. Maybe because if they say the wrong thing, they'll be shut the fuck out by their ruler. And they fear that shit because they're under lockdown fucking contract. This ain't HBO where someone would have said this was foul and possibly dirty sports. These are guys in corners with no freedom. Slaves. In hell that ain't allowed to tell. But they're finding out what they're signed with. See, check this out. Here's Peterson's trainer giving Danny a hug before they announce the winner. Here he is talking to Danny. Betcha he's saying, "Don't worry, Danny. You lost this one, but you get back in the gym and you'll win again, kiddo." He's got no idea the judges picked Danny. We even heard a guy say bullshit under the lip. But they're in fight prison. Because saying the wrong thing may fuck up future shots. Now that's fucking hell. As for the judges, like we said about doctors, it's easy to get a judge in the pocket. As for PBC, personally, we feel Heyman should show more respect for the fans. And just get a couple of these for judges. And perhaps one of these. Yeah. That's a young sexy version of CJ Ross. Since the judges are fake, they might as well be entertaining. The commentators can tell us what the CJ Ross doll was like when the fight's boring. I mean, they've got the scorecards made up before the fight anyway. Do like the WWE and just admit it's fake. And to Sexalicious and Luxiano, holler to Coach Shelton while we're at it as well. Because we're gonna kick it more on this judging thing. Lux asked us ages ago why the modern day judges suck compared to the past. So we're gonna get in it. And that ain't gonna be no 10-minute video. Some things we can't speak on since it's forbidden. But we'll speak on a little. Though 10 hours is how long we could fucking talk when it comes to history and judges. But in the end it's not really about judges. They're just the modern tool of getting the desired outcome, because the way fights are even judged has changed several times. As times and technology changes, so do the ways and reasons for being dirty. So we'll speak a little on it during the week. Along with other shit. But until then, which will be soon. Peace. We're out.